Right, we're Punch Out Boxing here with Mark Neilson. After Promoters Collide, it's now 1-1. How's that feel, first of all, to get one over John Trethewey?
Listen, I know the boxers are competitive, but I am as well. So it's great to get it back. We were gutted, obviously, on the first show, losing that against John Trethewey. To be fair to him, he was a bit humble about it. Well, he didn't gloat too much, not as much as I would have done. But yeah, it's great to be back tonight. So and it was a great show, eh? Really good.
I've noticed he's scarpered this time, so maybe he's not as close.
Maybe.
Go through the fight, starting at the top of the bill. HENTY, been talked about a lot on the scene as a great talent, but the fight was a bit messy. With the styles, was it just gel?
Yeah, I think it was the styles. You know, they southpaw. They kept on stepping on toes, didn't they, in the first few rounds and stuff. And Billy was sort of lunging in a little bit, and Jake was sort of picking him off with the counters. I think it was a bit scrappy. Jake's really really good fighter and a really good prospect. You couldn't really see how good he was in that fight just because the styles, the clash of styles. But I think he was a worthy winner for that. And he's done a few eliminators for various things now. That was a big one for him. It's going to work well, against a fighter with Billy's record. It's going to certainly work his way up the rankings a bit. So, so hopefully some really big fights. I can see him on TV. He's TV ready. So.
Was that a Commonwealth title eliminator?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He's next in line for Rafferty.
Yeah, absolutely. And he fancies that. So I think we can sort of speak to TV and see what we can do for him.
Right, so possibly big things to come for him.
Yeah.
I think fight of the night, it's got to be your man Francis against Oliver.
Yeah.
Razor thin, but it's just two guys exchanging power shots for 10 rounds.
Yeah, what a war. What a war. An area title fight. These big TV shows with these massive budgets, and some of them, you see some of these shows on a Friday night and they've got these really weak undercards. We should have area title fights on everyone because they're 50-50, they're toe-to-toe. Our boy Dan, we've had him sort of since his debut and he's sort of just improving fight by fight by fight. The better the opponent, the better the Dan Francis. And we saw that tonight. It was a real war. It was toe-to-toe, some big shots going in, and Dan can dig a bit. So, it was, worthy winner. Very proud of him.
Again, he had a great fight last time against Slavisa. He's ready for a big fight, maybe. Sean Noakes is the English champ at the next level up.
Yeah. There's no rush for him, but we're going to just keep working his way up, keep improving, keep sort of improving the caliber of the opponent and seeing a better Dan. So, that's his second 10 rounder now, and, he's ready for big things.
I think another fight that had a chance at stealing the show was Forrest against Osgood.
Great fight.
What to think of Forrest, because it's quite a step up. Osgood's got that great pedigree.
Yeah.
What a war over 6 rounds.
Yeah, obviously under the 2 fights in 5 years, and Forrest like a 3-0 prospect, but he was pretty decent amateur, and you could see there were some big shots coming in from under, and he just soaked them up and kept coming back at it as well. So he's a real talent, one to watch for the future. So very good.
Yeah, is that worth rerunning for maybe a title?
Could. Yeah, he was. They weren't happy. Donda's team weren't happy about it, but could run it again. The fans loved it for sure. So it was a great fight. Liam's certainly one to watch for the future.
Co-headliner again, your man Connor edged out by Pickles.
I don't think any complaints there. I think. I thought Connor was going to do that. My money was on him for tonight, but I just could, I think Billy's just experience was just a bit too much. I felt for him. I think, he's a tough guy, Connor. He'll come again. He'll brush himself or dust himself off. He's not been used to losing, obviously, been an undefeated fighter, but he'll dust himself off and come again.
Yeah, he's young. He's all experience. And we had the usual good crop of prospects from sort of these parts, a lot of the sort of Essex boys, Finley, Sonny, Max Schulte.
Yeah, Max Schulte is one of ours. We've just recently signed him, and he took this fight on a few days' notice, to be fair, because he's always sort of gym ready and wants to fight, and we're going to keep him active and keep him out this year. We also had Kieran Keane on his second tonight. He just looks like really class. I think all the super featherweights should be on notice that he's in the mix now. Only his second fight, it looked like it had an awful lot more than that, an outstanding amateur. So our stable's going quite nicely, and some good guys. And we had quite a few of our guys out tonight, and mostly apart from Paul Connor, we were on the winning side.
Yeah, as you said, you're competitive. You love winning.
Absolutely.
So that, of course, brings us nicely to UK v USA in a couple of weeks. Any of your boys on that?
No, none of my boys are on that, but we're working with John, and it's a Dennis Hobson show on that one. He's the license holder for that show. But what a fantastic event, a fantastic venue. I mean, I was talking to some of the guys tonight. I think Marley Mason was here, and he's up against I can't remember, an undefeated guy. Yeah, I'm not sure, but he's got he's got his work cut out for him. But that's going to be absolutely brilliant, and fair play to Dennis Hobson and getting that on there down at Chelsea, and that's going to be a fantastic show.
But you've got your show next week in Gloucester.
That's right.
Showcasing those West Country fighters. What else we got for the coming year?
Yeah, well, so listen, we're in Gloucester next week, and that's a sellout show, because not only do we sort of like run these brilliant shows at London, we do them all over the country. So we got like a 12-fight stack card with some of the West Country's best talent. We've got a lot of our own boxers on there. We've got debuts. Louis Bacon's done over 350 tickets. Jay Pittman in his second fight, he's done nearly 300 tickets. Jack Bannister, our cruiserweight, who's sparring with anyone, is fighting them. Sheriff Omar, so that's going to be a monster of a fight. Is sort of the main one. Elizabeth Ashoba, who's like top 10 ranked in featherweight, female boxer, and others. So we've got some some cracking fighters on there. A lot of our stable are out again. A sellout show. Then we're two shows in May, one at the beginning, one at the end for your call. We're back out in June, and just busy time for all our guys.
All right. So I guess watch this space. Absolutely. More to come.
Absolutely, as always with Neilson Boxing, and these ones with TM14 in London are just proving some brilliant 50-50s and title fights, and obviously we've got our own ones around the country as well to look forward to. So yeah, big year ahead.
How are you going to celebrate tonight?
I'll take it easy. I always take it easy. So nothing. I'm a non-drinker, so I'll probably just go out for a few sort of non-alcoholic drinks with my friends and rest up tomorrow and crack on again on Monday.
I've got a feeling John Treffin will be down in the hour.
Yeah, he has mine for me.
All right, Mark Neilson, always a pleasure. We'll see you in a few weeks.